Hey friends, good morning. It's Cheryl, Mama P with Mama P's Crafty Creations, sneaking in here for a quick little instructional live. We looked at my little bingo flip-floppy thing yesterday, and we finished that up. And we talked about doing a little quick tutorial on how to put those together. So I'm going to do that. I'm expecting Miss Adeline to be here anytime. So I'm not going to try to finish a project today. I'm going to show you how to start one, and then you can take it and go from there. And we'll get together the next time, and we will work on some decorating plans, okay? So what you need, if you would like to play along, and I hope that you would today. Hey, Miss Sherry, good morning to you. Is you need some cards. I like cards, they're heavier. You could use some heavier cardstock. You need as many as you want. 8 would be sufficient. Good morning, guys. Good morning. And they all need to be the same size. So I have pulled out 2 options, and I think we'll do both just to work through the process 2 times. I have my Tub O playing cards sitting here. Hey, Kathy. And then when I moved the Tub O playing cards, I found all of these sets of playing cards hiding behind the Tub O playing cards. And hey Terry, I'm good. How are you? I'm about to disappear. All of these playing cards are behind my tub of playing cards. So let's use some playing cards. For Pete's sake, let's use some playing cards. Look at these. Aren't these stunning? I love, love, love them. These fun sets. It's a thing. It's a thing. Okay, so grab yourself some kind of matching cards. The first time I did this, I just did it with index cards, and it was just to play around with the ideas. And so that is a great option. The other thing is, I was at my Dollar Tree the other day, and I love these prayer cards. I love them for the scriptures. That's just me. I love them. And I would like to take some of these and make them into a scripture book. So these will work really well as well. Okay, so you need 8 or 10. You decide how many pieces of something that are the same size. Okay, and it is a really, really pretty simple process. So I'm just gonna, these are West Indies maps. I love the colors on them. I'm just gonna grab a few and set them here. Okay, good morning, by the way. I am on a mission here to get to work, and I didn't even stop to say hello. Good morning. My name is Cheryl, Mama P with Mama P's Crafty Creations, hanging at the dining room table today, and I'm glad you're here. I really, really am. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so one thing that the only decision that you need to make is if you want to put your tapes or your binding materials on the outside or the inside. And I'm going to put it on the inside just so it doesn't get in the way of the decoration, right? Depending on what you use and its strength, you may have to go back over the outside anyway, but for right now, it doesn't matter, okay? This is one that I have made in the past. I found it out on my workbench. So this is just, I think it's playing cards, but yep, it's cards. I see them down in there. And so it just opens and opens and opens and opens and opens, okay? And you can see how it just goes. Hi guys, hello, hello. How it just goes lots of different directions. So this is kind of what you can finish. Hey, California Cheryl, how are you? How it kind of finishes out with playing cards, okay? All right, then you need some tape. I grabbed my masking tape. I only have the blue kind because it's what I use. I need some tan kind for this project, but masking tape works really, really well. Good morning, Debbie. And washi tape will work really well for this as well. Although I grabbed my glue stick because my washi tape needs to be stickier. Okay, so either washi tape and a glue stick. Hey, Missy, how are you? Or some masking tape. Or you can use strips of fabric if that's what you prefer, and then you just need a glue that will work with that. Okay, Hi, Ruth. Bookbinding glue or Fabri-Tac, whatever will stick fabric to card. All right. The bingo card one I made, I'm just going to confess, I was just playing and I stuck it with glue stick and I never thought it would stick, but it did. All right. So when you first start out, you don't really need a plan. You just need to put two cards together. And I'm going to use my masking tape because it'll be easier for you guys to see it. Patty, the options are endless. It can go on forever depending on how far apart you start. Okay, because we have to be mindful that if we put these right next to each other, they're only going to fold flat on themselves. And we need some room for all of these different flips and flaps and floppies to close up. So make sure you spread your cards out at least 1/8 of an inch. You can even go a touch wider than that. Hey, Debbie, right? But you need some space in between them. So at least 1/8 of an inch is what I would recommend. And then just kind of get them as straight as you can and put some binding on them. Now in my plan for this, you can decide if you want to, if I was using these really pretty cards here, I would want to use these pretty cards. I would want them all to show, right? So I would want to be mindful of how much of them I was covering with my binding strip. Now this one, not so much. It's okay, but it's not, it's not these. These are heavenly in my opinion. So I can just go right back on the other side with another strip of tape. All right. If I was doing the pretty cards, I would probably just do this beginning layer and let that be until I was ready to decorate. And then I would decide how to cover. Okay. So I'm just kind of lining up my tapes to match front and back. Okay. And now they're just taped and they will bend and they have plenty of sticky tape hanging off the edges to stick together. I grabbed my scissors. Let me find them. Aren't these beautiful? Are you talking about these, Patty? They really are stunning. Look at these. My sweet lady, Karen, who loves to shop for me, went to an estate sale of a lady who was an avid bridge player, and she brought me some of the most beautiful playing cards, and they're well loved, which I like in a playing card. I like that they've been well loved. Okay, now you have all the construction knowledge you need to build the biggest flip flop flippy that you ever saw in your life. Yeah, you guys, you want to see some cards? These are Shakespeare bridge cards. And let's see. I think they're the same. But look at those. Aren't those beautiful? I want to look at, no, they're pink. The other set is pink. It was bridge cards. I knew it should be two different colors. So those are green and pink. And they are really nice. They're newer because they are slick. But look at the artwork on the cards. These are lovely inside and outside. I can't believe the artwork that we put into playing cards. I have loved them forever, not just since they became a popular crafting material, but I have always loved them. My parents were avid card players. I love this set of roses I've sold that many, a whole deck of these in packs already, but I love these. Let's see what else is in here. These are just plain, but I love the case. Isn't this cute? Well, these aren't. These have these little couple. And, oh, look at the Scotty dogs with the green. Aren't they cute? We could stand here at my house and look at cards. You have a ton of decks. Good, Patty. That makes me feel better. That makes me feel lots better. This is a 3-deck set. Now, that's not something I see very often. Play pitch. My parents, I grew up learning and playing rummy and gin rummy. My parents more played rummy where you lay it all out on the table. And then as I got a little older, I really loved to play gin rummy, but we used to play rummy 500 around the table with my parents when I was younger. Anyway, I have so many. This is a bowling themed deck. So I love these. You see the blue pattern on those? Yep, so many people, characters. Anyway, so if you are using a card that you really love, I like rook too. I actually didn't learn to play that till I was an adult, but it was super fun. We used to take long bus rides on church trips, mission trips, and we would play a lot. We would put a little bitty stand up in the row between the bus seats and play those card games like rook that you could play and you didn't need a huge table. Okay, enough chit chat about cards. We've got things to do here. Okay, so I'm gonna take my third one and I'm just gonna glue it with about an equal amount of space. It will be quite forgiving once we get started. So I'm gonna lay my tape on my card, and then I can lay my other card right on top, and then lay another piece of tape right across the top of the whole thing. And like I said, this is totally just a quick idea tutorial. You can make these out of anything as long as you have multiples that are the same size, and you can cut them. You could make them out of 8.5 by 11 cardstock if you were, you know, really feeling like it. Okay, so now we have a triple fold. Now this is usually where I stop with, this would be my base, and I start to think, where do I want to go from here? Because each card now becomes its own design element, okay? And you have to decide layer by layer by layer, by card by card by card. Do you want a flip down? Do you want another flip out? Or do you want to flip up? Okay? And that decision will be made. Now this one, our choices are top and bottom, right? Because it's buried in there. And then out here, we face the same question. And you're gonna face that exact same question every single piece, okay? So let's go ahead. Because our middle one is stationary, our choices are up or down. Or up and down is an option, right? So I'm gonna put my tape on my card here. And since I would cover both sides of this particular card, that's just me, I'm not worried about, let's see if that's straight. Pretty straight. That's pretty straight. Because I do want it to flip. Okay, so I've stuck it lightly. I want to make sure that if I placed it correctly, it will fold down in here, and both of these will still fold in. And they will. It's hung up by the extra tape here. Okay? All right. And so in this case, we got to trim our tapes from the side and from the middle. Okay? So you just test it. All we're building are little tape hinges. You guys watching Jimmy Lou this morning? I saw her pop on here. I got so tickled. I've been doing all this bingo card stuff, and today she starts her journal with her thick slider bingo card. I have a whole box of those out in the shed I've been wanting to make something with. I get tickled. Our brains work the same. Okay, so now that my tape is out of the way, I want to test it. When I fold it down, does it fit? And it does. It's straight enough for my purpose. And now I just want to cover this little bit of tape so it's not sticking to everything. Okay? It might be easier to measure your tape. Just saying. But you know, I don't usually roll that way. I'll drive myself crazy. There we go. Okay, so now I've added a flip down to my center section. And the question becomes, hey Mindy, with every single card, the same question. Am I done? Is this what I want to create? Nah, just wing it. I never do. Hattie, that's me. And so I say to myself, self, Mama P, Miss Cheryl, are you done? Are you after a 4-panel thing, or do you want more? And in this instance, I want more. Okay, so I'm still thinking about the middle. What do you want that's more? Good morning, Andrea. Do I want a flip that goes up here? Do I want a flip that goes in on this side? Do I want a flip that goes in this way? Or do I want a flip that comes down from the bottom and closes in? I want a flip that comes up from the bottom. That's my choice in this. Good morning, good morning. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a flip that's down. Isn't this easy? Now, the fun part of this is finding where the end of your project comes, right? Where is the end of your project with this? Because as long as you have room in your tapes, you can go and go and go and go until you can no longer close it. All right, that's the only limitation in this. You'll see that I shortened my tapes this time, so I have to cut them, okay? So I just added this one, so now I have a down and an up and a side to a side. And the question is, exactly, Kathy, am I done? Is that what you want, Mama P? Is this what you want today? Nope, I want to add some more. So where do I want to add it? Now look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 choices for just this center panel. So do I want to add, maybe I want to add a side down here. That looks like fun. Let's do that. Now just remember, this is where I get myself. If I want to finish this whole thing, I got to be mindful of just how many panels am I making for myself to decorate, right? Now, I have decided in my mind, hey, Amy, how are you? That this is the end of the road for me on this panel. So I'm going to make these 2 cards closer together than I did the others because I don't need a big hunk of tape. I just need enough to just flip that thing right over. Are you done yet? And usually I think this part is great, and then I get to the decorating, I'm like, wait, I need 72 little pieces of paper to cover that thing, and I'm like, I should have quit. I should have quit. All right, if you are using washi tape, I just want you to put a little bit of glue on the back of your washi tape. Run over it with your glue stick so that it holds nice. Now, we're covering both sides of this one eventually, so the washi tape would be held down by whatever we cover up with, but still I would recommend that you put a little glue on the back of your washi tape, okay? All right, so there we go, covered both sides. Now, here's what we have. So this goes in, this goes up, this comes down, and I'm satisfied with my center section. It feels pretty snug. I still have a little bit of give room in there. I could still do another card in there, but I'm not gonna because I don't want to have to cover that many cards. So now I have my 2 side panels to consider. What do I want to do with them? Okay, if all this is tucked away, now I'm ready to look at these. Do I want top, bottom, or side? Top, bottom, or side. I can do that and do it in the right order too, I can. How do I want to do that? So this one opens top and bottom. So I think on here I'm going to do a side piece. And I want it to look like this is its own little book. Exactly. I pulled these out, these little today's prayer cards. They come from the Dollar Tree. They're up by the checkout. In every Dollar Tree I go to, that's where they are. And they come in different colors. I love the colors of this one. Let me move some playing cards. They also have this kind of color set, which is bright. And these are fantastic because they have a border on them already that's beautiful. So this with some coordinating washi tape, and I don't have to worry at all. And then I can just cover this panel, and for me, I would leave the scripture where I would see it, and it would be, that would be it. That would be my devotional guide thing. Okay. Center panel tucked in place, even it up, squish it down a little bit. And then this one is the only decision to make at this point and how wide do I want to set this one apart. If it's all I'm going to do over here, then I can make it a little closer. It doesn't hurt if it's a little bit wide. It's just you have more folded tape in your bends. There we go. So the tape sometimes gets in the way of the folding, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put these fairly close because I don't intend to go much further with that. And then I'm just going to turn it over and put a piece of tape on the back, only to cover the stickum. It's held together by this. The tape is already holding it together. Okay. All right. So now this side panel is ready, and it closes in on top of that one, and that leaves me this last panel. Now, you can fold this together so many ways. Even after you're done, you decide how it looks when it folds and in what order does it open in, because you have all the options, okay? The only decision you'll make is what is going to be your front, because I usually decorate it a little bit extra for the front, okay? So what do I want to do here? This one comes out, and this one goes up and down. So being the coordinating matchy girl I am, I'm going to put a card coming out. Same thing on this side. Now, do I want to add any more? The famous question, am I done? Am I done now? I might want to do one other. I think I do. Let's do a double fold in on this side. So I'm going to tape this. Ooh, that's crooked. That's really crooked. That's really, really crooked. Let's fix that. So I'm going to leave just a little bit more space between these two. Not a whole lot. And let me try that again. That's better. That's better. Are we done yet? Are we there yet? That's right, Cheryl. Are we there yet? And then on this one, coming out this final little piece, I can put them just a little bit closer together because we only need to fold it over. Okay. And you could really be organized and pre-cut a bunch of tape strips, you know. All right. Turn these over, put some tape on the back to cover that adhesive, and you're good to go. Oh. Let's try that again. All of a sudden, I'm all crooked. One crooked one, and now they're all going to be crooked ones. Okay. Trim up the little bit of tape hanging over the top here. All right. So, up and down, up and down, up and down in our center section. Up, down, this one just turns in, and this one goes in, and then over, okay? And look at that. It folds up even and straight. It's the size of our original card, and not anymore, really. It's just tucked all around. And then you cannot decorate thickly. Good morning to you. But you can decorate thinly, right? So this is a great place for paper, of course, and thin stickers. This is not the place for three-dimensional pop dotted raised up areas, because you just don't have much room to groove for this. Okay, now isn't it fun, Karen? And picture all of the sweet little applications you can make of this depending on what you use. You could use greeting cards. You know, I buy those note card sets all the time at Hobby Lobby. You could cut the fronts off of a bunch of those and use the fronts, and then use the backs to do some of the decorating or put them away for another project. Super fun. You can do this with envelopes in the exact same way that we did this, and then you have created this big folding pocket thing. Now, you can't put anything too thick in your pockets, but you have created pockets out of every one of these just because, hi Diane, you started with envelopes instead of a flat piece of card or whatever. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't get my fingers. 6, 7, 8, 9 panels in our whole project. And this is how it looks, right? Now, you could look at this and ask the famous question, am I done yet? Because we started with a 3-panel plan, but now you see we have 6 panels going across. So we could change our mind in our folding pattern, and we could add a flip up or down here, right? You could fold the whole thing like an accordion, tuck these two in, and then fold your whole thing together like an accordion, right? So now it's this, and that changes the entirety of how it works, right? Then it pops open like this, right? So you have to keep reminding yourself, this was our base, and then we folded this in, and then we folded all of these in our folding. But once you start making up your mind, see, we can accordion fold these in if we want. when you start making your pattern, then you are free to go any direction that it leads you. All right. From here, I would cut a whole bunch of pieces of paper that are about the size that I need. That's okay. I'm always glad when you're here. I don't care if you're late, early. I'm just so glad to see you guys when you come in, whenever. So I would cut a whole bunch of pieces of paper that fit this, and then I would sit down in mass and I would get the backs and fronts of these covered. Hi, Nancy. If I was keeping the pretty card, right, if I was using a really pretty card like these, I would only decorate this side and I would cover up this gold word, but I would leave the scriptures visible for me. So I would figure out what I'm going to use to cover all of these, and I could come back in and do all of that in a mass. So I would put all of the covers on, and then I would go back with my little stickers, my smaller size stickers, and I would put some stickers. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome for the first time. And then I would go around and decorate. If you want to do a cute closure, the way I really like to do it is once you get it folded and you're sure which one is your back panel, because that's important, I take one more, and if you're leaving this, it's a really nice way to have a finished back if you've got something like that. Okay, and I like to, all I've got here in hand's reach is a little piece of gathered lace, and this is not, I wouldn't use gathered lace. I would cut with my little craft knife 2 slits about 1 inch apart on the back, and I would feed the ribbon through that. So the ribbon is on top on each side and then underneath between. And then I would glue the whole thing, ribbon and all, onto what is the back panel of my book, and then my little ribbons would be sticking out, right? It would have gone through my card on the back, and then I can just bring it over to the front and give it a little tie. And that's how I think it's easiest for me to put a closure on these. That way it doesn't interfere, and everything is glued together and smooth. Hello, hi, okay. Is this something you could do and enjoy? I think so. I think they could be super fun. And they have a ton of applications. These are a great, thank you. These are a great addition to a book that you're making. So if you're working on a journal, you can make one of these. You can tuck it in a pocket. It's just a sweet little add-in to a project that you're working on. I also really love these as a standalone project, as a great way to make a, good morning, Anne, to make a little journal that might be for a very specific event. I have a daughter that's still in school, and it's school picture season, right? We've had our pictures taken. They're going to be coming back. I think this would make a super fun little project for her where she could take those, I'm dropping things, where she could take those little school wallet pictures that she gets from her friends, and every friend would get a panel, and then you could write their name on it. Just something as simple as that, as a fun way to do that. It's a crazy fun way to give a card, especially if you have a gift card that you're giving someone. You could make a quick little thing, and then my favored way to do something like that is to come way up in here and put in a little pocket and stick the gift card way up in here so they don't find it until they've been all the way through the card. Yeah, so that's this one. Here is one that I made prior. I don't even remember when. It's been out in my craft hut for a while. So this is playing cards. I had to look to be sure. I didn't even remember. But these are playing cards that I put together. You can see these are held together with a printed washi tape under here. A great Grandma Bragg book. Absolutely, I love that. And then this is just little squares of, hang on, I can reach that paper. Maybe. Of some of these like little sized like Temu paper pads, okay, that are glued on each panel. All right, and that's all I did to this one. I didn't go any further. I'm trying to feel if I'm missing anything. I just put some little postage stamp stickers here and there, right? The tops, if you ink them, so if this is, you know, got beige around it. If you don't wind up with washi tape over the top, if you just ink them a little bit, that white edge disappears. And so you don't have to seal all the edges. And then I put a word, the rescue, I liked that. And then I just tied a little tiny bit of rickrack in one of my seams, okay? So this becomes this, all right? If you're gonna use masking tape, this is just for you guys, it's painter's tape. I'm gonna peel it off here in a few minutes. But if I had used tan, regular beige, I don't know what color's masking tape, you know, that tan color. If I had used that, I could have left it just like this with the tan tape, and I could have inked on it if it stood up. And then, but this is what the washi tape looks like. And it'll just kind of disappear in there. So you don't even really notice it. So it could have been, you know, this color washi would have been pretty in there. This is kind of a Christmas one, but it was the right width. All right. So this is just so you can see how the process goes. All right. The one that I started with my bingo cards, which is sitting in the other room currently, I did it with strips of fabric that I just glued. So you have so many options. Okay, if you guys make one of these, I'm going to challenge you to make one. And if you make one, I'd love it if you'd post it in our group. I can't remember what the group is called, Mama P's Crafty Community. There it is. I would love to see what you do with it, because it can go anywhere that you want to take it. Simple, fancy. You could make a cute little 3-panel one and make a cute flip down, just 4 panels with a little birthday message and a gift card tucked underneath it. And how sweet would that be? Just a fun little way. All right, I'm gonna hop off here. I got a baby on the way. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm gonna fiddle a little bit more with this off camera, but I gotta gather supplies. I'll see you really soon. I don't know when at this point, but you know it'll be soon. You guys have a great day. Bye.